Maybe. Oh, I'm glad none of that was on air. Holy shit.
I mean, if Bill Cosby still has a Twitter account, Donald Trump doesn't. That's fucked up.
What extent? I was talking about Bill Cosby having a fucking Facebook, YouTube account?
Wait, are you really? All right, one actually tried to overthrow a democratically elected government. The other one is a pedophile, sexual assaulter.
I want to point it out.
They probably have their Twitter taken away for taking away Twitter. I'm just saying.
I want to point out this isn't even our top 10 worst fucking intro. To look back at the original shit, how bad our intros used to be.
I mean, yeah, those are pretty bad too. Actually, you know what? Well, I'm gonna restart. Actually.
Oh, don't.
No, we can.
We're gonna restart.
Yeah.
No, fuck it. Let's commit.
No, here's a better one. Okay. So, hey guys, welcome to Double Toss and Pre-Show. I have a really good question for you, chat. Do white people create photographs?
Okay.
You're joking. I still don't want, like. I feel like that is a white invention.
It's not a white invention. It's like fuck. It's such a weird thing because, like,
by the way, Alan, Italians count as white now, so keep that in mind.
Okay,
I didn't know that.
But okay, it's a weird distinction of like who created what, because there's even contention with it's for instance a certain dish of food in the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean is an entire coastal fucking region. So to say which place invented what is kind of you just throwing a dart at a wall. So saying
Aren't
who invented
counted as Mediterranean because you guys are right on the waterfront, right?
Who fucking knows? It depends on your opinion.
Okay, here's the thing. I have an idea. No, seriously, I have a really good idea. We'll just look it up because Google's right there, and actually the answer right here. The person who created the photograph was apparently Freddy Krueger without the makeup.
Okay, but the thing is like the problem with that statement is like, yes, you have the person here that was the idea of the concept of a photograph. It might not have been commercially available or even the technology to do it properly the way we see it with the fucking box and the nitrate. Well, yeah. Wasn't around till the 1700s.
They're probably drawing it, like carving it into wood and shit.
True, but there were ways to get that imagery onto a photograph. Just don't have anything to do with it until someone made a box for it that was convenient. So it's hard to say this person invented it because that his shit was a compilation of technology that came out before him.
I mean, you're probably
that doesn't really answer our question. Did white men invent this?
Yeah.
Not really is the question. They popularized it, and that's a good way to sum it up. The white man doesn't invent anything; it popularizes it. Did white men invent rap music? No, they stole it from whatever culture they needed to, and then put it to mainstream.
I guarantee you, white men created the skateboard.
I guarantee you, they stole it from another culture and popularized it.
They stole it from Maori people.
Okay.
Is there any information based on that?
Okay, yes, they used to do a thing called paddleboarding, which is similar to surfboarding, except riding the waves in. That was the only thing they changed in.
Okay, Nick, here's a question: who invented tea?
Do you think I don't know who the fuck invented WE? Like what? I don't know shit.
A white man, but
then wait. You say you asked me that question to prove your point and ended up proving mine?
No, I'm not, because again, I have a point I'm gonna make here. Because when you think of tea, what's the first thing you think of?
The nasty taste of tea.
I think of British people, bro.
Exactly. The British stole that from the Chinese.
Not me. I thought of China.
Okay, yes, because you know a little bit about the history. Now, who invented it between India and China? Who fucking knows? That's another debate for someone else. But again, people will think of British because British and tea. We brought up wrestling. Yes, Vince McMahon, or whoever the fuck was the first head of wrestler. But what did he steal that from? Sumo wrestling and what you call it, and freaking wrestling moves from other different cultures. So white people, again, the British are the perfect example of white culture because they don't invent anything; they just steal it.
I really fucked up saying that, didn't I? Jesus Christ!
A little bit. It blows my mind because
I'll give credit because Eddie's people did invent something. They invented Mountain Dew. The Appalachian white people, they did invent something for their own culture.
Okay, but again, for people in the chat,
I know it's popular to be against white people, but man,
it's not that. It's not that. You gotta understand is that it's not like I'm hitting on. Is this the idea that of people who invented what is so random? Because you think of it as like again, T British, but they co-opted that. Look at the number system: 0 to 10. What culture do you think that came from?
I don't know, but like if I look up
my people.
Yeah, he's right.
Okay, well, I mean, if these are rhetorical questions, there's a reason why you're biased about it because your people did this shit. So it's like, but like if I did that with anything else, like it'd be a whole fucking like I don't know. It's like if I look up what did white people create, it'd be a bunch of stuff, but every single thing is based on some other idea. Like, dude, for instance, you can create a new utensil, right? Like the thing that's like the perfect like combination of knife, fork, spoon. But you know how you got those ideas from the fucking spoon, the fork, and the knife.
But that's my point, though. That's my point in general. We're specifically talking about white people, but this idea of who invented what is such a misnomer because stuff comes from different places. It's usually who popularized it is really the better answer.
So here's the thing, because we're doing some podcast sins here. So I meant to make an inside joke that was going to be just a thing that was gone, but I guess I'm going to give you guys context. So we were talking a minute ago, me and Ganja were just being stupid before the show, and I went on a rant about white people. I'm sorry. Cancel me. I don't give a fuck. The thing is, though, is when I went on a crazy Nick
Jim is brought to you by white people. No, it was stolen.
Oh, the worst
No,
part
the
is
thing is, though,
we don't own our stream, so that's right.
no, but the thing is, though, is that when we were talking about it, I started off the stream saying like, "Hey, did white people create photography?" And here's the thing: it's like we don't have an answer of who this guy stole the idea from, but the guy looks white. He looks like Robert Englund. I'm pretty sure he created the fucking thing. It says it here. Google knows everything. You know what I mean? Like,
It says he's French, so most likely.
Most likely around that area, but it's like again, it leads into a further discussion that actually, honestly, is really interesting. But it's just that things you just don't think about.
Well, even back in the day, I mean, this says 1827. Okay, here's the thing about photography and anything, by the way, like math, anything that we have a name for nowadays has something that it was before. Photography back then was not a fucking camera. Photography was you smile next to your cave woman or whatever the fuck, and then some dude sits there and carves your faces into a fucking wooden thingy. Like, you know.
That's why people didn't smile in old photos.
Yeah, and I'm pretty
Actually,
sure...
that there's also no, this is random facts, but we'll go into it later.
Yeah, all I'm saying though is just like, dude, like fucking, cavemen been doing this forever. Like, before this guy came around. I'm just, like I said, I'm just talking about like the modern thing. I'm not talking about like the very first invention of someone like, drawing somebody. I mean, or taking a fucking, I don't know what the fuck, a photograph. You can't. It's so hard to find a word for taking a photograph when it go back to the 1700s because it's like, say cheese, like there's no fucking thing that does that. But,
no, it was weird. Photographs back in the day were fucking weird. You'd have to sit there for like 3 hours to let it fucking set.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like cool with it too. Imagine we had that patience that people had back then. Like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, you had nothing better to this is a further discussion we had back then. You had nothing to do back then but farm and not fuck your neighbor's wife.
Wait, okay, by the way, rewind that 'cause you said that
I am not giving the context for that one.
No, the only reason, like, because I know, like, you're interrupting, but, like, because I literally had no idea what you just said. It sounded like you said, I swear, I'm not trying to make a joke. And chat, tell me if you guys heard this too. But I thought you said, man, the only thing to do back then, to do fuck your wife. And I'm like, what the fuck did he just say?
Can't farm and not fuck your neighbor's wife was the only thing you could do back then.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
What? Okay, well, we'll get into that. Like, we will get right into that.
See, the thing is, I was going to say the same shit Alan just said. He beat to it, so everyone's like, shot Pikachu face at Alan.
Yeah,
but that was going to be me.
I don't even know what I would be doing back then. I feel like there's more things to do than that. But I mean, hey, it is.
Really? Depends on where you were.
Further back you get.
Dude, if you get into a time machine, if you went to a time machine right now and you knew all the things that you can create with just today's shit, and you go back then and it's like, hey, like I know how important it is to fucking create like a farm and do all this other shit, and everyone's like, I'm not gonna do what you're doing. You can just do it because you know how important it is later on down the line.
No,
like
it's hard,
you could start football 100 years earlier than when it actually started. Because
but it might not take off because you're not white.
Mm-hmm.
What? What the fuck is in the water in Canada? Like
white people.
Actual water, well, what?
Fluoride, because it makes your teeth white.
God damn. Marissa's saying, no, Nick, that was just you. Okay, well, fuck you.
Thank you. I love you, Brucey. You're my favorite person for the next 10 minutes.
Shit, we started talking about white people. We should have Ryan talking French now so we get confused.
I know, man. Yeah, Alan Bice de le
I am not American white. These are not my sins.
E-Mike, I appreciate this question. Really great. Wait, what was that, Alan?
I was going to say, have you guys ever heard a French person ever?
No.
No. Yeah,
that
no.
sounds about right.
No, I've heard like cartoony versions of it, or like that one moment when that one French guy taught the Godzilla, he's like, or no, didn't that guy go like, nice lighter, or whatever? He was like in a fucking hospital bed or whatever. The guy was moving the lighter back and forth. Like, what'd you see? Godzilla. Whatever the fuck.
You sound hesitant because Expected Clouseau. Fuck you.
I'm telling this. I love the chat tonight. That's two people that have told me I'm right. So y'all are good to me tonight.
Yeah, well, you know what, chat? This is why you guys belong underneath my nuts. All right, fuck you. Every single
And I'm saying on white people, it's your fault.
Man, this is a random fucking tangent, but I was always uncomfortable with Pepe Le Pew back when I was a kid.
I thought you were gonna say you're always uncomfortable with being underneath my nuts.
I mean, I think anybody would, honestly. So tiny.
Yeah, it's a lot of room. But go ahead. Pepe Le Pew.
I was gonna say, Pepe Le Pew, I don't know if you remember back then. I was always uncomfortable till it wasn't until older I realized, oh yeah, that guy's a rapist. But as a kid, it's all jokes and stuff. You're like, I never liked that cartoon. It always rubbed me the wrong way.
I wish I could write it, but I don't even know how to fucking spell it. It's Pepe Le Pepe.
Pepe. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't know how to spell it. I'm sure if you tried it, it'll fucking P-E-P-P.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I'm sure it'll fucking autocorrect it for you.
Oh, was it Looney Tunes?
So yeah, it's a Looney Tunes. Basically, this was a skunk that was always trying to get that cat. And basically, the cartoons, like at some point, the cat would get some paint on it to look like a skunk. So it looks like a female skunk. So she's grabbing it, like, "Come here, Peppy. I love you. Yeah, you my lovely bird," or whatever the fuck he would call her. Like he would be constantly trying to fuck her the whole time, and she's just trying her best to get the fuck out of there.
I'm so surprised that no one's ever called me that. You say, "Hey, Pepe Le Pew, you fucking prevert," or whatever the fuck.
We will now.
No, that's definitely not gonna. That's not gonna take on at all. The thing is, E-Mike. Well, first, Ryan, thank you for the bits right there. You said go French word for seal yourself. I don't know what the fuck that is. E-Mike.
Way to go fuck ourselves, Diaz.
E-Mike is saying what's going on with Ubisoft Diaz. So that's the biggest thing they're gonna be talking about tonight. Now I appreciate those were bits, but I feel like we'd even earn those bits. So if you have another question, E-Mike, I'll answer your shit even without bits as soon as I possibly can. But let's get right into that fucking thing because it's a big topic of the night. I am happy about this, but I'm just going to assume just how the show has started off, Alan's going to be fucking mad.
No, it's not really, actually. More of a... It's a weird thing that's going on. So for people that don't know what the actual fuck is going on, this is a part of a secondary story. So EA for the last, I want to say ever since Force Awakens, had the rights to Star Wars games. So they were the only ones that had the license. Similar, think of it as a FIFA sports game. So they're the only ones that were allowed to make the games. And in about that year, they made about 4 games that I recall. 2 of them were people didn't like it. 2 of them people did. The more recent ones, Jedi Fallen Order and Squadron Assault, people generally enjoyed. The Battlefront games were met with a lot of contention. So eventually, rights get basically when you get a license, you get a certain amount of years to make stuff before they're like, well, we're not going to renew it or we are. So it seems like what happened is Disney's like, you know what? We're just going to revive LucasArts, the guys from back in the day that used to make all the random fucking Star Wars games, most of which you've never fucking heard of. We're going to resurrect them, and basically it's going to be a title so anybody can basically be under that banner. So when a game comes out, it's like not EA, it's like some random company makes it, and it'll be LucasArts. So it'll be like LucasArts Film first, LucasArts Pictures, and then whatever game the developers are making it. So one of the first ones that got announced was Ubisoft was making a open world Star Wars game. And my first thought was, which fucking developer? Because holy fucking shit, that is gonna bio randomly. Are they the guys that make the Just Dance games, or are they the guys that make the fucking Division? Because that really fucking matters. And it turns out it's the guys that are making the Division. I like the Division. I think it's interesting. I think it's okay. I think as far as the live service video games, it's one of the better ones. But them doing a Star Wars game, I don't know how that's really gonna work because as much as the Division is interesting, I don't think any Tom Clancy game's story are really interesting. I think Tom Clancy stories are boring. I think the games are fine. Like, playing the Division is kind of fun, especially with friends, the second one too, and any of the other Tom Clancy games are fun. But their stories are so bad. It's usually like, hey, agent, we need you to shoot a bunch of homeless people because of America. I'm like, that's just every fucking Tom Clancy game.
I mean,
so, I don't know.
It was back in the day of the PS2 era. I completely agree. But this is one point where I can actually jump in and say a little something because of the fact that it's like, yo, lately Ubisoft, and I don't know if it's the same company who has been working on the PS2 ones, PS3 ones, etc. But like, I really like the newest Ghost Recon, dude. Like, I think that shit was
really good. And I'll say this: it's the only Ghost Recon game I've ever played that I actually enjoyed, and I played almost every single one of them.
Yeah, dude. I mean, even like the DLC. I think this game. What's this game called? Breakpoint.
Yeah, it's called Breakpoint, and it's weird because like the story itself is not really that good, but the gameplay itself, it does a lot of interesting stuff with it, where they're able to make it. Also feels really good just to shoot. They basically turned it to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but with fucking guns, and it's amazing. I've clocked in like 20 hours, But I'm just wondering, like, they want to make a Star Wars open world game, and they're picking this company, Ubisoft, to make it. And the guys they're picking to make it, the guys that make the Division. Now, I don't think it's going to be just the Division, but with Star Wars aesthetic. It could be, because that's what the last 2 games these guys have made, and they really have only been a support team. If you look at their history, all they've been is supporting development for Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. They're basically like the guys you call in for extra bug work and stuff like that. So they've only ever made 2 games. So I'm curious, are they going to stick to what they know, or are they going to do something different? So I'm really curious, and this deal must have been done like at least a year or 2 ago, because the fact that they said, hey, these guys are making the next one, they have to have something.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. It's like I feel like Ubisoft is a pretty good publisher or developer. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, these so many names, so many.
They're a publisher. They're not bad. They went to a lot of hot water recently because a gigantic sexual assault. Papers just got fucking released to the public where they're doing the typical company shit if they were hiding shit from people. They were removing complaints of sexual harassment and stuff like that. Basically, unfortunately, typical big company shit. They're still dealing with it, but they had a big giant mess that came out. That's more of the, I guess, publisher side. As far as the games they develop, Ubisoft tends to develop, I'd say, average games. They're usually 6.5 to 7. I can't think of a Ubisoft game in the last 10 years that has been anything more than a 7.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's so subjective, and like I kind of agree with you in a sense.
I know, that's what I said me. Like, I can't think of one. And I know there's probably people like, oh yeah, no, Watch Dogs 2 is totally great. I'm like, Watch Dogs 2 is okay.
Yeah, and then obviously you didn't like Watch Dogs Legion, which I mean I think a lot of people didn't. But I'm looking at something like this, Jedi Fallen Order, which this could have been really, really cool, and there's a lot of things that they got right with this. But at the same time, the linearity of this and the fact that it feels like a fucking wannabe Dark Souls game, and just not even close to how good Dark Souls is, I think it was a kind of an issue where it's like, oh, like this world looks like it's open world, it looks like it's something more than what it is, but it's not. And granted, it's still fun, and we're cool with whatever we got here, but this could have been so much better. And now we can actually see that with Ubisoft. But for me personally, when I look at how Ubisoft has done certain games, I look at Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Fucking hate that game for so many non-subjective reasons. Some objective, real fucking experiences that are absolutely terrible. And then with even Division, and I like Division subjectively, but like the fucking first month of that game, you were in actual virtual lines, people. You had to stand in line to start a mission like it was fucking Walmart during
that was a weird bug that people couldn't occupy the same space. It was actually more hilarious than it was anything detrimental. But there are Ubisoft does have issues, especially with its multiplayer focused games, does have issues with its launch. But the thing is the benefit of what's happening with the second part of the story is that Lucasfilm, whatever the fuck they're calling it the Lucas Arts banner, or whatever the fuck. Is that you're not just Ubisoft isn't getting the lights. That's what people need to know. Is Ubisoft isn't going to make every single Star Wars game. They're making a Star Wars game. You know who else is going to make it? Some other random company that's just going to pick up the game as well. That was the thing that happened back in the day. Is there's so many different games that are coming out. Rogue Squadron. There were they might even start doing RTS Star Wars games again. But again, it's going to be smaller companies, different games. There's probably like 5 or 6 games currently in development that are Star Wars related, because guess what? EA's one company. They can only do so much. Fallen Order to me was a company like, hey guys, you either make Fallen Order or you get shut down. So they made Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But now it's a situation where it's like, if Fallen Order is made by somebody else, like Platinum or maybe somebody else, or maybe literally even From Software says, fuck it, we're going to ruin Star Wars and make a fucking Dark Souls in the Star Wars universe. You now have that option. So it's not just one company, it's going to be multiple.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this, like, I mean, I'm hyped just like what Alan is, but when I see shit like this, guys, this Division line, I know I'm reiterating a point that we don't even have.
That was 5 years ago. Let it go. Division 2 launched.
Okay, I was hoping to get shitty with it. I was hoping.
Oh my
I was
God.
so fucking hoping. Now you're gonna fucking pay.
No, okay, go ahead. Whatever. That was 5 years ago.
You do know, but a month ago. Here's another thing. We played Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
In case you guys want to skip ahead.
All right, well, no, then tell me how right I am. Because, like,
it has issues. I'm not saying that it didn't. I'm not saying that it doesn't.
Didn't you not say 8 times within the first 2 weeks, oh, it's the first day. Oh, it's the third day, bro. It's the first week. It's the first month. Is it going to be year 3 before you're finally able to say, hey, you know what? The shit just don't work. It's kind of fucked up.
It happens. It doesn't fucking change how I feel about the game.
And you're surprised that Cyberpunk fucking lies to people and lost fucking stock price and all that bullshit because you keep taking advantage of people when you defend.
I was
shit
not
like
surprised.
This?
I was not surprised. I was like, oh yeah, I had a feeling that game was gonna have a shitty launch. Yeah. And everything that happened, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right for something that got delayed this many times in this short a period of time.
Yeah, but
again, I was with you on the shows.
Yeah, but it's not a thing where it's like, get over it. Like, this is a fucking $60 video game, dude. Like, why? I don't know. Understand? Like, and this is like a thing for all games. People in the chat right now too. What is up with y'all just being okay for getting slapped in the fucking face with your own wallet? You're fucking stupid. Like, it's literally, there's no other word for it. It's not like we can find a
Well, I
therapist.
mean, do you want to throw out some suggestions of what we could be doing instead of buying these games?
Yeah, don't buy them, or fucking like one of the situations where it's like, I mean, these games come out and yet everybody says,
Not like
it's a
suggestions
first
on like what to do. Like what are we supposed to do in this time limit of like all those months spent like them developing these games, and we're like in a pandemic? Like, what are we supposed to do?
like I said, to stop buying them. Like, when these games come out, because this is before the pandemic, by the way. This has been going on. This game that we're talking about, this issue that's like, oh, it's 5 years ago, forget about it. It's fucking happening literally half a decade later, like after this fucking released. So the fact that this shit was okay back then, and people were just like, oh, well, we'll get it fixed next week. I guess I'll play a game that I just bought for $60 and it'll be okay fucking a month or whatever from now. It'll be fine. It's like, dude, that's the fucking reason why they've never changed. Because if you would have got mad back then and said, no, this is not cool, I just bought this game, this is bullshit, then you would have fucking had a game like Cyberpunk come out and actually fucking work. But they know you guys are fucking stupid, so they keep fucking treating you like it's stupid.
I feel like that's the false equivalency. Like the issue with the video game industry isn't that everyone's just following the same rules, is that nobody's following the same rules. Let's say everyone refunded the Division because of the line waiting and that the game tanked. That doesn't mean Cyberpunk would have changed at all. It's just because they're following a different rule set that Ubisoft is following. Like, as far as the Divisions, that problem got fixed in like several hours. The next day it was fine. That was only like the very first launch. So it's like this idea that's like, oh, if we just keep not buying the game, it's like that's the biggest problem with the video game industry, is that nobody follows the same rules. Everyone has their own rule set. So even if like you got a bunch of these random games tank, because guess what? That shit happened. Anthem tanked really hard because of this exact reason. People returned and stopped buying it.
But the big difference is that when people had their shit fucked up by Anthem, they would go online and actually be honest about it, because it wasn't the cool thing to do to say, I love this game. It was the cool thing to do to talk shit about it. That's the thing. With Cyberpunk, people's shit does not work on PS4 fucking like at all. Like, that shit is still an issue, to the point where they keep having like weekly apologies thrown out on their fucking Twitter. That's how bad CD Projekt Red is. And the thing is like, because it's the new cool game and there's nothing else coming out right now, people are still like, oh, well, you know, it's all right. They'll fix it soon. It's like, dude,
no, because again, it's like there are issues with it, but it's like people are willing to like accept it, not because they're dumb, but because they're looking at it as like, okay, there are issues with this, but what are we getting out of it at the same time as well? Like, there are always mitigating factors that allows us to continue, that this industry is still ironing out. Like, these issues aren't every single fucking company. It's a lot of stuff that ends up happening. So it's like, this idea is like, oh, immediately boycott every single thing that doesn't work immediately day one.
No, immediately, not even slightly immediately. Like, I'm saying that after years of this happening, if this happened once every fucking couple of years or something like that, like, okay, then there'd be a little immediate to be like, oh, it doesn't work one day, now I'm fucking mad. This has happened to the point where games sometimes don't even get fixed. Like, its entire life doesn't get fixed. So, you know what I mean? Like, dude,
I got a question. Can I jump in?
You can, but one last thing. Star Citizen. You gave money to a game that didn't even come out. No,
again, I gave up on that. Okay, because again, if everyone likes to throw that in my fucking face, okay, I looked at a lot of gameplay. I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna pre-order this game. Basically very similar to how a lot of people do Kickstarter and early access, because it looked really, really fucking interesting, and it was a game I always wanted to try out. Eventually, after years, I just said, you know what, I'm out, I'm done. I got to play versions of alphas and betas that I did enjoy, but eventually I just gave up. Now I don't give a fuck. That game might come out one day, but I stopped caring. So that game has now forgotten because other games have fucking replaced it. Like, I get what you mean, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, overall, it's not as big an issue as you want to make it seem that way. But I know.
But what were you gonna say?
All right, because here's the thing. I kind of see the middle ground between both of you. Because here's the thing, I think Nick's right, but I also think Alan's right to a certain extent. I'm going to start with Nick first, because he can be a happy little boy. But the reason I agree with Nick is when you have a consumer base that's willing to just forget pretty much anything, down to the point of just falsifying like advertisement trailers, like me, you even talked about, where we got to look for a UI. If not, it's a fake trailer. Like movies, other products, if they were to do that, they'll be slapped with falsifying consumer consent or whatever the fuck that shit's called. There's lawyers that know the technical term better than me, and you should probably refer to them. But essentially what it means is if you lie about shit, you can get sued. But on the same token, if the consumer base honestly is so willing to just forgive stuff and let stuff slide to the extent that the video game community has. Let's be honest, this is not the first big flub game we've talked about, even in our short careers as podcasters. I think it comes up 2-3 times a year now. I think it just keeps increasing as more and more games are starting to get to their final release dates. And I think what you really need to see, and this is where I'm going to push with Alan's point of view. It's not too much the consumer base, because the consumer base are like movie viewers at this point. They're going to enjoy whatever the fuck they're going to enjoy and find reasons to fucking give it an excuse. So now what you need is to work with the industry itself and people within the industry to start standardizing a lot of this stuff. Start making it findable if you fuck up on certain game developments. If you promise the world and don't deliver, you are now able to have to be pretty much a lawsuit on your hand. Similar to what's happening with CD Projekt Red right now with their shareholders. I think you, as a consumer base, should work together with the shareholders and put pressure on these companies, because the only ones who really care about at the end of the day are their shareholders, because they're the ones they get their budget from. And if you're able to put pressure on their shareholders as a consumer base, you're going to increase the betterment of the industry for all. But the problem is that requires a smart consumer base not willing to forgive everything so easily because it's their favorite company, favorite brand, or whatever. And it's not just video games that have this problem. Movie companies and TV companies, internet companies, all these people have the same problem. It's a problem with capitalism, consumer culture. We think our brands are an extension of ourselves when it's just people making product for us. So honestly, I think the biggest way to change this stuff is you need to have a growing moment of consumers who aren't tired of this shit and somewhat boycott it, so they can put pressure onto the shareholders to force these companies to act right, or even not standardize this shit. So there's at least a level of standardized decency that you're going to get out of these video games to not get a cyberpunk.
Because the only reason why I even brought it up in the first place is like the reason why I showed this is to show like this is the only reason why I am scared for Ubisoft to do anything, because many people online are talking about, man, Ubisoft, fuck yeah, it's gonna be a great Star Wars game.
That's
like
the weirdest thing for me, because I thought I was the only one that enjoyed that company, because I thought most people just hated Ubisoft. See people like clapping, I'm like, oh thank God, it's not just me.
Yeah, and that's why I showed that. It's not like a whole thing of like I can't get over this one simple fucking thing. It's just like people like think about these fucking things coming out and just kind of like hold your applause, because everyone was acting a fucking fool about Cyberpunk before it came out. Oh, I hate that it's fucking postponed. I can't believe you did this to me. I can't believe it. And then it comes out and it's fucked up and it's like, hey, wait, you didn't fix it. It's like, yeah, that's like if you interrupt the bakery when they're fucking making your cake and it doesn't have candles. You're like, what the fuck? Where's the candles? Like, I was in the middle of it, you fucking fruitcake, but you had to bother me when I'm trying to make you something that you paid for. So here's your piece of shit cake there. Go get the fuck out of my store. Go home.
Well, that's what kind of goes to my point. You need a smarter consumer base, one to actually understand the industry and not just force a game out. Because what happens is when they push a title back, with the stockholders and people that have real money invested in these companies see are all the backlash of these people on Twitter. Oh, I need my game now. Oh, this game's gonna suck. So what they start doing is putting pressure on the company and developers to deliver the game faster so they can get rid of this negative press and increase their stock shares. It's all money at the end of the fucking day.
And by the way, too, with that, just so you know, Ganja, because you had a fucking amazing point. The thing is that's what leads to the fucking workers at these companies that are like fucking what's that thing? The Crush, whatever the fuck. Or like it's crunch time. Oh God, oh no. It's like you guys are blaming the studios. How dare you treat those workers like that? You're the motherfuckers doing that. You guys put the pressure on the studio and the shit rolls downhill, but everyone wipes their hands clean of it. Oh, I just paid them and played the game and I just enjoyed things. No, you're fucking the problem. You're the fucking problem.
It's not them. It's the fucking publishers that are willing to bend to that. Because if Disney was able to fucking bend to fucking releasing WandaVision, that would have released 6 fucking months ago. Like it's one of the issues that Ganja brought up earlier, is that there's a lot of it's not regulated. This industry, and I've said this for years. The video game industry is the Wild West. There's no fucking standardization for workers rights, for time frames at all. Because again, how long does it take to make a video game on average? From the start to the end, about 3.5 years to make a video game from announce date to release date in your hand. There are so many working fucking things in order to get that game to get from start to finish, so many different certifications, that is wildly random. You're right, movies don't deal with this shit because movies standardized themselves like 100 years ago. Like, they figured that shit out because, again, all you gotta do is point a camera at a dude and make sure that dude is paid, make sure that dude is paid, make sure the camera dude is paid. That's all you really have to do. When it comes to video games, it's a wild, random bullshit that probably encompasses all the stuff we talk about. But it's wild between Ubisoft doesn't operate like EA, and that's why people are happy Ubisoft making a Star Wars game. Because if it was EA continuing the license, you would see people getting mad because they hate how EA operates. These two are the biggest video game companies in the world, Ubisoft and EA. that operate wildly fucking differently, make wildly different fucking games. And that's the kind of double-edged sword when you fix an industry. Is yes, everybody plays by the same rules, but then everyone might make the same shit. Look at the music industry. When everyone played by the same rules, you got a lot of similar mainstream shit. Like people didn't want to hire the indie artists; they want to hire the Justin Biebers that could constantly make the money. Movies are the same way. There's only 5 movie companies out there because we regulated the industry, so only the big guys can do it. With video games, like you can have
monopoly is a huge factor. You only had like 5 studio heads that bought all the little studios and made them all into one major one. Disney.
Exactly. Like, how many major video game companies do we have? A lot. Now, the very big ones like EA, Activision, and Ubisoft are the biggest. But again, Rockstar's up there. Rockstar makes AAA games. They don't make them as often because they're a smaller division. Again, CD Projekt Red makes AAA games. Like, there's a lot more. You have the benefit with the Wild West. You have a benefit of different tiers of video games. But then you have the issue of CD Projekt Red. Fuck it. We'll just figure it out as we go along. Ubisoft's like, we'll fix it eventually. CD Projekt Red, we'll keep apologizing until it fixes. Like, it's random how they end up dealing with it, which is the fucking frustrating. So I can't get mad at you, Nick, for being frustrated about this. But I don't know. I guess I just see it under the veil where I'm like, fuck, I wish I'd get the shit together. Like, I'm embarrassed for them.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. It's just like more so than fucking talking about the companies fucking up, because CD Projekt Red, they own like 85% of the fault of that whole situation. If people just shut their fucking stupid little crybaby mouths and let them work on the game, it would have came out in February or March or April, and it would have been perfect, and it would have been one of the best games ever. And it would have been no fucking press loss or whatever, no stocks loss. Everything would have been fine. And then all these other games, like Phoenix Rising could have came out a little bit earlier. All the indie games could have came out. We would have been fucking great. It would have been an awesome Christmas. But they had to, it's, once again, it's like, it's not 100% their fault. But that's why I'm trying to, like, put this out here, too, where it's like, everyone's excited about this fucking Star Wars game. And it's like, every time people are excited about a Star Wars game, they bitch when it comes out. And it's like,
oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, just like with the movies, just like with the show now. I mean, I'm surprised they found a way to bitch about the fucking show, but they found a way. So it's like,
this is a top tier CG on a show that has $100 million budget.
Yeah, like what the fuck? And it's like they're gonna do the same thing with this video game. And it's like, Ubisoft has a record of fucking up too, so don't expect a perfect game. Don't fucking keep bothering them all year next year, 2021, 2022. Oh. Can you guys please come out with it already? I want to play. It's like, you know what?
A point. Can we bring up a thing that I hate more than anything is Star Wars fans? Because you think that, because the exact same thing's going to happen, because my issue with Star Wars fans is, and this is coming from a guy that's a video gamer, is literally nothing pleases you guys. At all. Nothing. And that's right. And to the extent where I don't even think you understand the concept of the medium in which you guys are interested in. Because I'll always go to just how people, like, as soon as anything Star Wars related comes out, it is like, it better be the greatest thing that's ever happened, or it is the worst thing that's ever happened. Like, is Rise of Skywalker a shitty movie? Of course it is. Is it the shittiest Star Wars movie? Not by a long shot. But because it's the most recent, the most money, it's the shittiest thing. Is Rey a terrible character? Of course she is. Is she the worst character in Star Wars? Of course not. Anakin Skywalker still fucking exists. Yeah, the prequels suck, guys. They're funny, but they're really not that good. So it's like, but that always happens. And I'll go to Battlefront 2, where I, to this day, still don't get the hate. I was like, oh, look, it has loot boxes. I'm like, so does Overwatch.
all the games, yeah. Overwatch, Call of Duty, fucking everything has loot boxes.
But because it's not called Knights of the Old Republic and it's not a fucking, third-person RTS hybrid, it got shat on. That game is fantastic. It was always fantastic. But it's like, I can't believe I can't play as Darth Vader in this game. This first-person / third-person multiplayer shooter, you can't play as this character, which you actually can. You just have to unlock them in the game as a power-up. But people are like, I will play as Darth Vader now. I'm like, you don't know what game you bought.
Yeah. It's like, when they show that fucking logo, the Battlefront 2 logo, and it's a first-person shooter, etc., do they show Darth Vader anywhere? Has he ever held a blaster rifle?
They do eventually, but they basically show the Stormtrooper helmets, because that's who you're playing as in these games. Now, if you say, hey, I don't like Battlefront because I prefer playing single-player games, that's fair. That's a fair statement. Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. But don't sit there and be like, I can't believe I'm playing as Darth Vader in a game that is about Star Wars and about the clones and robots and stuff. I'm like, it just, every time it's Star Wars related. So when Ubisoft makes this game and it comes out being pretty decent like they usually do, people are going to shit on it because it's Star Wars.
Yeah. And yeah, I compare them to fucking wrestling fans. We get it, guys. You like the 90s wrestling. Why don't you fucking go get the VHS tapes No, because like I like it too. I love Stone Cold. Like they're still my favorites, but it's like they're half dead. Like they're gone. Like you know what I mean? Like fucking, he's 60 years old. Do you think I want to see his wrinkly ass going there? Like, come on, there's fire. Like no, you know, like watch the new shit.
And that's the thing, like that's why it's like CD Projekt Red fans of Cyberpunk. It's like 8 years of development, so there's no that game could have been perfect to still have problems. But Star Wars fans are way worse. So it's like I'm excited for it because again, I like Star. Okay, you know what? Fuck, I gotta keep burying myself in this hole. I think any Star Wars game is better than almost every Star Wars movie.
Oh, well, okay. No, I don't know about that.
I don't care what garbage shit you pulled out of your ass, even the fucking Kinect games. I don't think the movies are that good. I think the movies are overrated. I think the video games are a way better rendition of the entire universe. In almost every single fucking version of it.
Fucking E-Mike says, Diaz, your thoughts on Suicide Squad kills the Justice League hit or miss, by the way. Samoa Joe plays King Shark. That's actually pretty funny. I like King Shark and Harley Quinn show.
Why did he ask Ganja and you? Am I like chopped liver tonight?
Oh, no,
yes,
no.
Yes, you are. Just chopped up real nice.
No, but I'll ask what Ganja and Roxy think of King Shark in a bit, but like I will answer this first. I think that Suicide Squad is going to be a really shitty movie, but once again, it's one of those things where everyone just, you know, it's a cool thing to like it because James Gunn, God, we love that guy in his pedophile parties. He's so fucking awesome.
No, Nick, he's not talking about that. He's talking about the game.
Wait, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League?
Yeah, that's the it's called Suicide Squad, but it's like the tagline is kills the Justice League, but it's the actual video game that Rocksteady's making. He's not talking about the movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like in a box office they're gonna kill Justice League because like I guarantee you that Justice League HBO Max shit, I think people are not really all that hyped about it. But
oh no,
anyway.
they're anti-hype. They hate on it before it came out.
Yeah, but okay. Well, if that's the case, no, they're not gonna have Suicide Squad kill them in canon or anything because you need those characters in the Justice League to continue with the next game, right? Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel like that game's gonna be good though. I think the game's gonna be better than Avengers, the game.
I mean, that's but I'll let y'all answer. If you want to throw it to me at the end, you can go ahead.
Well, Ganja, yeah, what do you think about? You don't know who Mojo is, but did you ever finish Harley Quinn, the show with King Shark and her and everybody?
No, we haven't really got a chance to actually finish it, but we're definitely going to try to check it out now with the new movie and games coming out that are good. Because I know they're talking about doing a Radar movie now. And honestly, I kind of like King Shark as a character, but I really only like him when he's the character from the show. I kind of like the shut-in gamer boy attitude of King Shark because he just makes everything feel like kind of wholesome, and the way he just reacts to stuff is kind of like how the audience reacted like the most craziest shit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I really enjoyed the character, so like I kind of want to see that iteration into different things. But if they try to do the one from the comic books where he's just essentially like another what's the crocodile dude from the Batman series?
King Croc.
Killer Croc.
If he's just another Killer Croc animal copy, I'm good with it. There's like 10,000 of them in every fucking superhero.
Oh, they're so stupid.
Dude, I was gonna say King K. Rool, by the way, from Donkey Kong.
I mean, shit, might as well, honestly.
Jet, are you actually? I know I always ask you this when it comes to these comic book things, and you're like, no. But like, with the DC stuff, with the games coming out and all that stuff, are you a little hyped for it?
No.
God damn it.
I mean, you got your answer.
Yeah, I guess I did. Roxy, how about you? Is she there, by the way, Ganja? I like how you both disappeared.
I've been dead this whole time.
I can't
took
tell.
a fat shit like a while ago, and then I got thirsty, so I drank my Powerade, and now I'm sitting here watching TikToks.
I'm sorry. But what do you think about the whole shit with DC? I don't know. I might just fucking asking like the most dumbest questions now. Like, what do you think about the thing coming out? And she's just like, take a shit. Okay, thank you.
So I took a fat log. It looked like a chocolate eclair.
That's how most shits look. That's
knowing that's out of me. Feels good. But you said how I feel about the Suicide Squad game that's coming out?
You know what? Fuck you, dude.
I didn't know that there was a Suicide Squad game coming out. I know that there was the movie coming out from James Gunn. Mm-hmm. But in regards to the games, I guess the last game that I played was... I can't remember which Injustice it was. The one where Harley had like a pink outfit.
Yeah.
And then she ended up having a big fight with Wonder Woman.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That game was a shit.
I played that a little bit. I enjoyed it. It was fun for what it was, but I'm not going to sit here and be like it's the greatest thing ever. So, I mean, I'll try it, I guess.
Yeah, but Alan, you though, do you feel it's going to be better than Avengers and the game, by the way? And like, what do you feel about DC's future as far as like everything, the all-encompassing world of entertainment?
I think the DC's games have generally been pretty on point. There was a time where almost all superhero games were terrible. Now we got to a point where they get a couple good ones. I don't think it looks good. I mean, we didn't see any gameplay, so it's hard for me to say whether or not it's going to be. But can we have the Suicide Squad be evil? Why does the Suicide Squad have to be a bunch of fucking comedic jokers? Might as well just fucking recast them with the fucking King of Comedies. He had the same fucking.
Except leave King Shark. I love King Shark and how he is. He reminds me so much of Trey.
King Shark could be played by Chris Rock. Bill Burr would be Harley Quinn. Like, fucking fill the rest of it, man. I don't know, but like,
Do you see Bill Burr as Harley Quinn?
I mean, that's a hairy ass Harley Quinn, but sure.
Okay.
Like, fuck it. I just wrote an SNL skit, but like,
That'd be a fucking acid trip ass fucking episode.
Forget the fan service. We want a Harley Quinn that's hairy as fuck.
If we ever get some fan fiction or some fan pictures from y'all, and y'all ever feel the need that we are worth your artistic skills, please send me a drawing of Harley Quinn, but Bill Burr dressed up like her, please. I need that in my workroom.
And to answer Eli's question,
today, but at the sorry, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just to answer this question, this one answer right here. Yes, I'm ready for the wrestling show in a little bit. I just have to watch NXT and AEW. It's gonna take.
Oh shit, you got COVID back. Holy shit.
Well, I mean, I didn't know you had COVID.
That's so fucking embarrassing. Not only can you not spell, your grammar's fucking terrible. Now you do this shit.
Hey guys, hey guys, you want me to have a co-host? Just message Hovig19. You'll come on in.
I was an accident. I was not planning to do that.
Dude, Alan, I never heard someone so happy to hear that I got COVID.
I was like, oh yeah, that's all the Hovigs. I gotta fuck that up. I gotta stop trying to say his name.
Oh right, you got COVID? Awesome. I've been waiting for that to happen.
You got COVID back. It's like, oh shit.
Fuck it. His co-host is a hoagie sandwich.
I take back all my jokes. Point. You angry person, you fuck. Oh, fucking this group.
Next week, Chad Tagger, my special co-host AIDS. It's gonna be a great show, y'all. Come check it out.
We're not topping that. Next story.
Fucking Connor Films is just like question
mark. I don't know how to answer that.
Dude, question mark is the fucking greatest thing to type in here right now. But anyways, guys, Jesus Christ.
Check out Cancer next week.
I'm so curious how this next conversation is gonna go. Oh my god. GTA 6 is apparently going to have a female protagonist.
Voiced by Bill Burr.
No, here's the thing. I think this is cool. I'm just gonna make my shit really, really fast. I think that's gonna be really, really cool if they do that, because at the same time, with all the other characters and all the other games, when they're females, they are written so fucking bad. But it's the joke. It's like, ha ha, we're assholes like that. And now we have a chance for them to actually be in reverse of that, and it should be interesting. Alan, take it away.
Alright then.
Perfect.
I think yeah, you nailed on the head. Like when it comes to specifically GTA, Rockstar GTA, they don't really know how to write the female characters. Yeah, Catalina, but she's kind of just crazy. Like that's all her character was. She's like, I'm just nuts because for whatever fucking reason. But most of the female characters are written fairly terribly, whereas the main characters are written pretty decently. They're supposed to be like the criminal with the heart of gold, where it's like they're a bad person, but they're doing it for the right things. And especially GTA 5, where almost everybody's unlikable. But when you look at Red Dead, at least Red Dead Redemption 2, the female characters are run pretty decently. There's a wide mosaic of female characters that I genuinely enjoyed. You had from the gunslingers to just, hey, we're just going to help out here. So every one of them had a story. So I hope that they take a lot of that writing staff for GTA 6, because I hated the writing of 5. But then doing a female character, I'm surprised. If it were me, I would have made one of the 3 characters in 5 female, just to kind of intro it so that the fan base is used to it, before making it like a main staple. But I'm not sure if anyone else is here. Ragonji, what do you think?
Yo, what to do? All right, so here's the thing. I'm cool with them doing a female protagonist. My main issue with is GTA is kind of the series of like extreme portrayals. And one of the problems with that is it really only has a real good course in the early 2000s, maybe in the mid 2010s. But like as people have gotten like more up to date on stereotypes and like really question different type of comedic humors, it's going to be really hard for them to recreate the same kind of juvenile fun energy that you see in a lot of the previous Grand Theft Auto games. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of thinking what they're going to do with this one is probably take it back to a more serious route and probably do a better version of Grand Theft Auto 4, which I'm excited for. I know me and Nick disagree with this a lot, but the story for GTA 4 is fucking solid. And
fucking
I would
love it.
like to see them bring that quality of like character interaction, character development. Matter of fact, that's the first GTA. There's an actual woman drug dealer that you come contact with.
Oh, I
And
love
she's
her.
she's a boss lady that runs her shit, and then she's not portrayed in any negative light, and she calls out the male characters for their bullshit.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get killed at any point in the storyline, which is really appreciated because GTA has this habit of where they'll introduce a female character that is on the same level of men and just either portray her as like quote unquote the cunt character that they like to do in women in like the early 90s,
Catalina.
2000s. No, not really. She was more of the psychotic, crazy girlfriend archetype.
Yeah, she was great.
I'm
She was like
talking
the
about,
Trevor
the
of back
boss
then.
lady bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much actually.
Nowadays. And that's what they did in the fifth one. They were basically targeting that stereotype. So if they would have made a female character 4 or 5, it would have been a horrible stereotype. And we probably would be lambasted GTA 5 right now if it actually did that route. So it kind of helped them to be juvenile and stick to a male audience. But for the series to progress and to keep it, especially appealing to younger audience that want to see more diversity, they're going to have to open up to more wider storytelling than just, hey, we're going to do what South Park does, but with guns and better graphics.
Oh, I'll go one step further. I think they should do a character creator.
That's it.
Oh no, fuck that. Saints Row did that and it was terrible. And it takes too much
That
work.
Saints Row did that and it was terrible. That was one of the selling points of the game was how crazy your character customization would be, at least for the first two, because they went into more depth than I think any video game has ever went to, especially the second one. The third one, they kind of, I don't know, I think they cheapened out on some of this
But
stuff.
do you think Saints Row wins you over with story at all because of that fact? Because how are you going to pull that off, doing a good story when having this character that looks like a fucking dinosaur or whatever the fuck stupid shit you want to do?
Actually, at least, again, the first two, they, as much as you can make your character look really... The thing about what Saints Row was always a parody of GTA and just GTA kind of games. So when you had that thing, you could make your character look fucking weird as shit. But then when you actually get into the story, it's actually really well written, and that's one of the things that we were talking about in the chat. Like, I love GTA 4. Like, the only story that's better than GTA 4 to me is San Andreas, because it's just how much they go into the character.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but it's like they managed to make the character, again, criminal at the heart of gold, where he's doing the wrong things, but he's doing it for the right reasons. You have this overarching story that goes across the cities. You have all these interesting characters that pop in, and it does it really, really well, where you start to feel sorry for the character, for both CJ and for Nico, where it's like you want them to win because you know they're trying their fucking best in this fucked up world. And when 5 came out, it was just like, everyone's an asshole because we're in LA. Yeah, fuck you and fuck actors and fuck the socialites and cocaine on the street corners. I'm like, I hate everyone in this game. You're supposed to. Well, fuck you. I hate your game.
Yeah. No, because that's a very easy thing to pull off too. I don't like that too. It's like, oh, like everyone's an asshole. It's like, okay, yeah. So basically, this game has a writing style of me being in my room at 13, hating the fucking road because I can't get pussy. Like, okay, like that's literally what I don't know. I mean, I like bleak stuff. I mean, me and Ganja have argued with you many a time that we like dark humor, and we like dark things in movies and shows, whatever the case may be. But for a video game, for everything to just be so like, bleh, like super drug induced or violence induced or sex induced, it's like, all right, dude, like pull it back just a little bit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but again, the character creator for Saints Row, it added to that story. I'm not saying you need to make the GTA 5 as crazy as fucking Saints Row. I'm not to that nuts, but I think a situation where it's like, because people are going to be wondering, like, are you going to go with, depending where are you going to set this? What is the background of the character going to be? Are we going to have a Franklin situation? Are we going to have the typical white protagonist, or are we going to go a different country? I was saying you can mitigate all that if you just have a character creator.
That's true. But really quick, Jay, I'm going to ask you, I'm very curious what you think about this. I know you played GTA before. What do you feel about having, or GTA having a female protagonist in the game? Do you think they'll do it good?
I mean, personally, I can't wait for all the mods to basically, give the main character big fucking titties and ass implants, like they did with Skyrim mods.
Why? Why does this happen?
Wait, you want that shit, or
we literally got Gary in the call base. I want big titties.
No, I'm saying I can't wait for that to happen because I know it's gonna happen.
I mean,
you should see how many people basically have their female characters like dressed up like they just got their whole body done. In Skyrim, just like, damn, they got Surgeon back in this time? Okay.
Yeah, magic.
Dude, I'm going to be honest, guys. So, look, and I should have known what the fuck I was doing by even bringing this up with Jet. This is a kind of character. This is not her character, but I'm telling you, it's not too fucking far off. This is shit that Jet would do on Ark. Look how fucked up that is.
Come on, really, to be fair, Ark has some of the worst character models I've ever seen.
But Jet makes a way to make it worse.
First of all, I already did that.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking weird. I don't know why you do that. Like, dude, I'm honestly, like, look around here. Look at this fucking huge fat character. I could have sworn you made a character that looked exactly like that.
I did.
Oh,
What about-
probably. Look at the default for Arc. Our default for Arc is terrible.
Well, I'm sorry.
not
I'm
bad.
sorry. I like to have fun.
That's ridiculous. Look at this. Look at that face. Like this is something.
Oh,
that should
he
be
looks
on
like The
Skins.
Weeknd.
Dude, he should be on Skins. I'm telling you. Look at that. That's fucking. That's horrible.
I was about to say that is the character from Sims, not Simpsons.
Sims.
Skins. Jesus Christ.
Give me another word.
Still way more customizable than Cyberpunk 2077.
My heart.
Yeah. And again, that gave me a first-person shooter. I was like, yeah, that was about as much as I expected. It's almost identical to Mass Effect, which came out like 15 years prior. But I was saying, like, I want it to be because again, you have a third-person game, which means you have the benefit of seeing your character at all times. I'm not saying it has to be as nuts as Saints Row, but like, let me customize again the character's race. Let me customize the hairstyles. I personally, to me, it's like one of the things I like about Saints Row was playing as a female character because the male outfits were go buy some jeans and a shirt. I don't want jeans and a shirt. Go buy a suit.
Male outfits are always terrible. At least with the girls, at least you get some cute options.
You get variation, and you never get that. It's like, I don't want to wear blue jeans today. Well, fuck you. It's like, well, it's fine. At least, but because
This is why
I don't know, you're trying to
Animal
wear
Crossing.
like Versace and shit in the game.
Wear
You're
some
not
Animal
Animal
Crossing
Crossing
bikini
Versace.
top.
This is why Animal Crossing is superior because no matter what you choose, you can wear anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And no matter what, it somehow fits. Even this guy can go in Animal Crossing and wear whatever shirt he wants to wear
What
because
the
that's
hell?
the way. That's the way
I
it'd
see
be.
Isabel hanging out with him right now, asking if he got turnips.
But again, I don't think Rockstar's going to do it because Rockstar likes to make their characters, especially the main characters, their models look as realistic as humanly possible. They're not going for The Last of Us where they're literally just getting the actual actor in. They like to actually create the character's model with as much detail as humanly possible. So it's like they almost look like a real person, but they're clearly an artist rendition. So I doubt they're going to go character creator. I wouldn't be surprised if they do the hairstyles and stuff like that, very similar to San Andreas and other games where it's like you can have varying hairstyles. I doubt you're gonna be able to change your face, but I want that's the things I want to see in GTA 6. Like I want a character creator. I want them to keep everything they kept from fucking Red Dead 2 as far as the fucking health cores and stamina core. The fact that your horse or what your car you're gonna have gets to keep all your guns. I want them to keep all the shit they added in that game.
Yeah. No, it would be cool. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with GTA 6 in general. I hope that they actually go to Vice City like they've been saying for so fucking long. But also, too, this whole idea with the female protagonist could be really, really cool. But with that said, though, guys, I had to go do something for Corey. I got to do the Dropbox. And I got to fucking watch wrestling because we're doing this in a little bit. So come back in about, I would say, like an hour, something like that. And then we'll be able to sit over here and nerd out over wrestling shit. Just like we nerd out about the comic books and all that stuff today, too. But you, Mr. Allen, can tell people where to find you in Ganja when you guys do your thing.
Alrighty then. So if you follow any of us on Facebook, you'll get multiple notifications, including the fact that we literally just had an episode air today. We are back with episode 72, A Revolution in Our Time. So again, follow me on Facebook, and if you want to just know more about that shit, go check out the Metropolis Collective, where we do the Illuminati, which will be coming out weekly. But everyone is basically back. The Nunes podcast is going to have something up in the next couple of days. Cedric and a Sports Pod podcast are doing had an episode up last week. So basically, we're coming right back into full rotation. So leave a like so you can get the notification when we go live.
All right, people. And with that said, you guys can hear that music. So I don't know why I do weird voices. It's cringy. It's terrible. I hate it.
Get your vaccine before you come back for the next show, please.
Let's all go to the lobby.
We're sending
Let's all
over
go to
peace to
the
Mr. Reverend Seven.
I'm so
Let's all
hungry.
go to the lobby.
You
Get
guys
me
have a wonderful
motherfucker.
evening.
Okay,
Goodbye.
let me take out a loan.
All that good shit. Later. See ya. Go.